I'm Arthur King, and I'm a veterinary control judge for equestrian, competitive trail, and riding events. Primary role as a veterinarian at a ride is to assess the horses uh, before the ride to see if they're fit to start, during the ride to see if they're fit to continue, and at the end of the ride to see if they're eligible for completion awards. In addition, if it's a competitive trail event or you're judging for the best condition award, the findings that you on the horses will be scored numerically, and the horses ranked accordingly for the awards in those events. Obviously, any horse that is showing sign of stress, abnormal gait, elevated temperature, not eating properly, not drinking properly, etc., those horses have to be evaluated and either eliminated or the rider take action to correct the problem before they continue. In the case of any horse that is disqualified, they would be referred to a treatment veterinarian for further assessment. First of all, as a judge, you have to be able to get along with people under a variety of circumstances. That's essential. You obviously need to have a good understanding of equine behavior and equine welfare, and be prepared to take any action necessary to correct any unsafe or unacceptable situation in order to protect that welfare. You have to be dependable. Many of these events are planned months to a year in advance, so if you commit to be a judge, opting out at the last minute is not an option. Depending on the format of the event, the events can last anywhere from 2 to 5 days. On a particular day, the duties can begin at 5 in the morning, if not before. So you have to be able to work under those conditions and for long hours, because sometimes, some days the events can lead well over into the following day, especially in the 100-mile rides. Because the events are entirely outdoors, often in remote areas, you have to be able to work under adverse conditions of weather and often with few amenities. You have to be able to plan ahead for contingencies such as injury of horse or an injury of a human, making sure that there's enough judges, etc. So you'd be a team player in the planning of the event, along with the volunteers and the other judges. You certainly need to know the rules of the event, and more importantly, be prepared to work with the event management team to fairly and consistently enforce those rules. It's essential that all of the judges act as a team and apply a consistent standard in determining if a horse may or may not start, continue, or complete. Disqualification of a horse and rider can be a difficult decision. Riders have a lot of time and money invested in competing and may object to being disqualified, especially if they don't agree with the judge's findings. And as noted previously, the hours can be long and the working conditions, especially in a remote area or in adverse weather, can be a challenge. In the mid-70s, I had a client who owned a horse breeding, boarding, and training facility. She belonged to a local saddle club, and that club was holding a competitive trail riding event, and she asked if I would be one of the judges. I immediately fell in love with the sport, especially the people, but also the horses and how much they enjoyed the sport. I don't know of any other equine sport where the horse and rider have such a strong relationship, where the horse's ability as an endurance athlete is more tested, and the rider's knowledge of equine sports medicine, equine behavior, and equine welfare is more important. I would suggest that you seek out any opportunity you can find to volunteer at an equestrian facility, or at an equestrian event, or with an equestrian professional. This would include time with a veterinarian, a farrier, a trainer, a coach, a saddle fitter, equine chiropractor, equine massage therapist. There's many professionals out there. Learn all you can about equine sports medicine, equine behavior, and equine welfare through either practical experience and, of course, reading and learning. Well, I think they find it to be a very rewarding experience. It's certainly not without its challenges, as I noted before. And the key probably is to find yourself well, at least one and several mentors and work with them and learn as much as you can. Over the past 45 years, I've been able to travel across Canada and the United States judging equine distance events. I've met wonderful people. Also been able to travel to many competitions as part of Canada's endurance teams, including 3 trips to Europe and the Middle East. I've met dedicated horse people, and they're amazing horses, and it's just been a wonderful experience. And in addition to judging events, I also was able to compete briefly for over a period of 3 or 4 years, about 500 miles total competition. And over the years, I became extensively involved in various committees and boards of equine discipline and breed organizations. I'm sure that if you enjoy working with people and enjoy working with horses as I do, you will certainly find it quite rewarding to get involved with judging equine events.